for all of my new subscribers. I'm Zoe, and this is Divinity Within Thee, where we take time to get in touch with the divine that exists within all of us. So, you guys, how is everybody feeling? This eclipse energy is pretty intense. Yes, intense. Um, so, there has been a lot of um, heavy energies and shifting and rinsing, purging, releasing, right? All of this has been going on, and it's definitely been a doozy. This first eclipse was a doozy. So, you guys, what I can say, right? Messages channeled from the collective is be gentle with yourselves. Now, we are in a lot of energy that is Virgo, which means we are feeling this. Um, Look at that, 111. We are feeling like this want or need, right? To actually be like, we have to get things done, right? We have to get things done. And so, like today, of course, today is Tuesday, right? Happy Mars Day. And with the energy, as we learn to work with the different energies that are aligned with the planets, right, we can find that on certain times or certain days, maybe things are more viable for us to do or entertain or complete, right? So, it's important that we're kind of like in alignment and honoring those days, right? Tuesday is the day of Mars. So Mars is an action based, you know. Monday is the moon, right? So this is more introspection, right? More emotional, like our soul, our heart, our emotional state, right? The moon. 222, it's like the action. So now, after we've explored or felt this emotional state, what is the action, right? That we take to follow. Now, not all actions have to be in masculine energy, right? Not all actions have to be progress based. Sometimes actions is saying, wow, I need to rest, or I'm going to do all this and then I'm going to take a nap and then I'm going to come back at it, or I'm going to do something that feels a little bit more fulfilling to my soul, right? Like I'm going to eat that ice cream and like take a rest or watch something funny to change, right, my attitude. So what we're seeing a lot of right now, and what we're going to continue to seeing a lot of right now, is a lot of the subconscious thoughts that are coming forward into the conscious reality, into this co-creational space of reality. And as we are acknowledging, right, that we're in this co-creative space, and as we're acknowledging that all this stuff from the subconscious is actually coming forward into the physical or into the conscious, it's important that we spend a lot of time and energy on our words and our thoughts, right? This is so important, right? Our thoughts and our words are shaping our reality. So if we think too much on things that don't bring us joy, instead of focusing on what the solution, right, can be, we somehow get caught up on the problem, right? And this is a 3D, this is a very normal human response, but as we're transitioning and shifting into a higher level of consciousness, we have the capacity and or ability to kind of be more consciously aware, right? Of our thoughts, our words, our actions, and how things are kind of flooding outwardly, right? And how they're coming back, right? As above, so below. So in our subconscious, right? In the higher ethereal realms, right? What is bringing it down into the physical reality, right? What is the disease or the discontent that is within. Yeah, look at this kid is screaming. What is our body or our being or our soul screaming for, right? To become free or to be seen or to be heard or to be acknowledged, right? This is very important. Stay hydrated. So this is a really big thing right now. And also a really important thing is knowing collectively with all of the shifting and everything that's going on in the world now, as we are, as a lot of people are standing up and pushing back and doing all of these things, what's important is to realize not to stay hyper focused on the separation or the war, but how we can come together more to create that change. Look at that at 5:55. Change, right? The inevitable change that is upon us. So this is the energy, right? That the eclipse and even this time in between the two eclipses is really conjuring up within us, right? It's this energy of like the things that make us a little bit uncomfortable, but are feeling like we felt like we did something to move forward, but like now it's still kind of lingering there. And we're like, wait, did I do the wrong? It's like, did you trust your intuition when you made the decision before the eclipse started? Okay, now stand by that. Now, doesn't mean you don't have the availability to change your understanding of it as it's progressing or releasing or removing itself. No, absolutely. You do have the capacity to accept or to change, right? Like this is where real growth comes into play, is when we actually have the capacity to say, wait, I can see something. I've gotten a piece of information now, even though it was something I was set on before. I've gotten a new piece of information that my soul or my intuition is really resonating with, right? And I cannot just ignore it, right? I know what is the inner truth. And as we are doing more of our inner work, right? As the collective is doing more of the shadow work and acknowledging all of this, what happens is we come into the space where more people are able to do that. But there's also like a large portion of us that are like, actually, we also don't have time or space or energy for people that aren't actively doing the shadow work, right? What once felt really good or was really maybe of a pleasure or whatever to us may not feel like that, right? Like sometimes people, places, things, projects, ideas, whatever, relationships, jobs, whatever, these can actually, we can just all of a sudden be like, oh, actually now I'm seeing on a lot of levels why this isn't a vibrational match, and where something was once our mirror, allowing us to see and understand why, right? To learn and to heal and to grow and to understand why that was our mirror. That's great. Now, does it mean as we evolve that every person that was in our reality is still our mirror? Not if we've adapted the lesson and understood, right? Then we see where we've surpassed or grown out or past that. And now we see the thing where we say, okay, yeah, I remember where I used to be like that. And I see you and I bless you and I forgive you. And I say, okay, you're on your journey now here and I'm on my journey now here, right? And it's this very interesting and beautiful thing where it's like, I'm not judging, right? I'm just accepting and acknowledging and making the conscious choice to say, that's great. You're still on this path. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to redo that grade, or you're going to take the summer school, and I'm going to advance because I did the extra work and I was really paying attention. I wasn't playing around, and that's kind of where we're at in this collective energy, I guess you can say. So the most important part is not to judge the exterior, but to actually take a moment to say, okay, how can I be in a space of kindness, gentleness, and gratitude for all of the work that I have done and the ability that I am able to acknowledge this situation or handle it differently. I am able to maintain my boundaries and help myself and other people have better communication styles, right? And understanding that it's not about um, one thing is better or worse than the other. It's just about different things exist for different people to have their experience, right? Source or divinity experiencing itself in a bunch of different forms, right? So allow it, right? It's all about it receiving the data and the feedback that it needs. So the best thing I can say is to be in a space of gratitude and say, wow, I'm so glad that I had that experience, 11/11, that I learned that lesson, right? And show thanks, right? That's something that is a little bit difficult in the collective right now because we're still slightly on this space of, well, this other person that, it's not about tit for tat, right? About who's right or who's wrong, because perception and projection is 9/10 of universal law, which means that how someone else perceived what they did as right or wrong is their perception. So allow for that to be their perception or perspective, and know that it's not our job to sit here and teach or train or raise someone else's, you know, children, son, whatever, right? It's not our job, right? The Knight of Cups really want to come out. So, but it's about being in this space, right, with the Knight of Cups, right, 1222. It's about being in this space to be able to receive and to say, I'm ready. I'm sending out the message to the universe. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4. That I'm ready to receive that love. I'm creating the space where maybe I was letting my boundaries or my whatever, my energy be crossed or be kind of used, a little bit succubus, right? And where I can acknowledge that, and where I can, and when I say I mean we, the collective in general, each individual person, right? King of Cups energy. Yeah, and where I can better embody this energy of saying, I know and feel all of the emotions, but I don't need to show face or experience it all, right? I don't have to cause waves to know in my soul, in my heart, my truth. And whether or not other people can see or believe or feel it also doesn't matter, right? Because not everyone is you seeing everything from your perspective. So, how about that? So, yeah, we have the Four of Coins. So, yeah, it's really about holding on, right? Holding on to the things for progression, like not holding on, not misering over them, but holding on to the lessons that we've learned, right? Holding on to what we've understood in the physicality, right? What our abundance is, right? Abundance can be, now this is physical things. So this can be money, this can be possessions, this can be a gift or an offering. It can also be, right, how we have decided to maintain our love, our boundaries, our things like this, right? This can very well be that. We're protecting that. Um, ah, it's not. Give me 1 second, guys. I only have 10% left, so let me see if I can. Let me plug it in for a minute and see if you guys can still hear me. Hopefully, you can still hear me. I will attempt to speak up while I shuffle the cards, and maybe we can get some extra juice in there, okay? So I've been trying to charge it all day, but I think it got a little bit wet last night, and now it's not charging so well. So I'm gonna imagine and visualize this abundance of, oh wow, all the support and this love and new devices to be able to share with you guys better, to have a better microphone and everything else rolling, right? So slowly but surely, let's figure it out, right? Hopefully you can hear me. Just give me a minute. I'm going to shuffle the cards, and we're going to see what they have to say, right? So, first message is for the collective. Dear universe, source creators, spirit guides, angels, ancestors, archons, angels, galactic federation, aliens that are there to help us with only the highest love and light and vibrational frequency that there is in this beautiful unfolding of this new world of the highest possible outcome and timeline of love and light. Call on you for protection and only allowing in the true, honest, clear, loving messages that are in the highest vibrational frequency for the collective to receive. Thank you, and so it is. Okay, the mystery. 52. Okay, so this is the energy of 7. So the luck, right? The luck comes in the balance, right? The balance comes into play when we trust. See, this is like a Libra, okay? So the balance or the trust comes in saying, okay, I surrender, right? I surrender to the path. I surrender to the mystery ahead. I surrender, right? And this is where faith really comes into play, right? This is the difference between spirituality and religion, but a lot of what religion has tuned in with people. I keep saying this one as I was shuffling too. Still cannot. So the horse, 26, this is the energy of 8, okay? Abundance, right? But also learning, knowledge, work, right? Accepting help from another, delegating authority. So yeah, we'll get farther, right? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We'll get farther if we say, okay, I'm going to surrender to the mystery at large, see what's going on. And in the process of doing that, I'm also going to help myself and others by asking for the help and delegating the proper responsibilities necessary to the proper people. Queen, woman, fertility, feminine power, sexuality, friendships. 4. Okay. So this is about being stable in this, moving forward into this more feminine-based future. And as we're doing it, it doesn't mean feminine is the only one in rule. It means we are allowing more of this care, this compassion, this Kuan Yin energy, right, to come into the collective conscious. So this also means, not men acting like princesses or whatever, but this means like when the masculine part of us is hurting, right? Like, oh, we have all this stuff to be done, but I need to rest, or I need to cry, or I need a hug, or whatever. What it's about, what the rise of the feminine energy is about, is understanding that when those feelings need to come out, we need to express them. We need to feel them to heal them. We cannot just consistently bottle them up and push them away, because what that does is cause
for a meltdown or an explosion later on, right? What happens is now our frustration, our whatever is coming out later on because we haven't given it that soft, gentle space of the feminine, saying, okay, I'm allowed to be in this space of, needing self-care or whatever, right? So risk, 40, another 4, okay? The path and the directions, like there's multiple directions we can go, but it looks very clear, the path ahead. But also, there is some risk in forward movement, right? There's always going to be risk in letting go of what is comfortable to us, right? As they say, life begins outside of our comfort zone. So know that if there's not a risk, sometimes there's not a reward. Now, does that mean that everything everything you should do should be risky business? No, I don't think so. Restriction. So again, this is energy 35, energy of an 8, right? And what you will find is, as we're learning, right, 8 being a number of abundance, but also a number of learning, it's of seeking deeper knowledge, right? So as we're doing this, we can see where the restrictions are lying, right? And as we're seeing where the restrictions are lying, look at this, perception. How about that? So look at, we have several paths. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 paths now. And this is the number of 6. Okay? So this is about giving and receiving. So it's like, where are the restrictions taking place, right? What are the restrictions? Okay. So we have risk, restriction, perception, right? So what this tells me at 22, what this tells me, and the first one is mystery. So see all these roads? Right? Trust in the mystery, have faith. Know that risk does come into play. No risk, no reward. Know where the restriction is existing, right? And know that a lot of the restrictions that exist are based on our perception, right? How we are actively choosing to see and deal with things. So, perception and projection are 9/10 of universal laws. So, perception here. So, are we seeing this as a rough road or a road blocked? Are we seeing it as a multitude of options? Or are we seeing that, okay, this path is what's going to lead me? Now, it may mean that there may be other restrictions that I hit along the way, right? If I want to level up, that means I can't do the same shit I used to be doing because I'm going to get the same result. If I want a different result or outcome, I have to do a different thing, which means I may have to restrict myself. It means I may have to spend some time on my own. It means I may have to what did I do? I gave up drinking, smoking, all these things, right? It may mean that these are things that I have to do, and they're what I'm going to know individually, interiorly, in order to give me this clear perception, right, and perspective on what is going on and how I choose to see it. If I choose to see everything as rough or complicated, then that's gonna then the universe is gonna say, okay, that's what you would like more of, I'm gonna give you more of that, right? So learn to forgive ourselves for our old ways, for our old thoughts. And 49, this is 13. So again, the energy of 4 again. So, learn that it's about the journey, right? It's about the trip, not where we get. And learn to give forgiveness. Now, as we give forgiveness, it doesn't mean that we have to forgive everybody and everything that they've done. Forgiveness is more for self, right? Forgiveness is more for ourselves. forgive ourselves for keeping ourselves restricted, for not reaching, for not doing more, right? Forgive others for distracting us or not supporting us in the ways that they said they could or would. You know what I'm saying? Forgive. Now, does it mean that we have to forget what they do? Does it mean that we have to forgive everything that hurts us? No, we forgive ourselves for trusting people. We forgive ourselves for, find ways to forgive ourselves or others, to create, the cat, to create this independence and this healthy boundaries, the energy of 9, to find that completion, to figure out what is it that, ultimately is bringing us this connection to source, right? So we have the cat. So we're going to honor these boundaries. We're going to honor what we each individually need before we worry about forgiving and honoring other people's feelings or emotions, right? Don't judge, just allow for it to be. And one last, the dragon. Power and strength. So six again. Sex it be, reciprocity, this giving and receiving, right? Power and strength. So as we give ourselves this power or strength to be the ones in charge or whatever of our boundaries, of our outcomes, of our lives, of our dreams, of our goals, right? As we do this, we actually allow for more energy, power, strength, these healthy things to actually start to manifest and enter, right? If you want something new, then you need to make space for it, something that the universe has taught me many times in life, and I've had to give up. I mean, I haven't had to give up. It's been a choice, right? It was a choice that I made, saying, okay, I'm going to surrender in blind faith and say, if I give up all of this, then I know this or something better, right? I know something better is going to come. I may have to work for it again, or I may, and that's okay, right? Just be okay with that sometimes. Be okay with it. Say, all right, good, that's okay. I'm ready, right? And this is a space that we have to actually maintain or be at. So, doesn't seem like it's charging much at all. Is this the one? Is this the one I'm supposed to use? I don't know, maybe not. Is this the one, guys? This is not the one. Okay. I'm missing something to figure out which one you want. This one maybe? I have so many cards on the table, it's so silly. Why they want me to pick a different one? Whoops. Okay. Muse of inspiration. So as we follow our passions and our inner flame, we'll really be able, it will start to speak louder to us. It will become very obvious what we're supposed to be, moving towards, I guess is the best way I can say it. So, messages for the collective. Okay, that really wants to be upside down. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Okay, it kind of wants to be on a little bit of a different thing going on here. Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna plug the headphones back in so you can hear me. This is an interesting reading going on here. Hopefully, come on now. Hopefully you guys can hear what I have to say. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I can read it before I run out of battery. Okay. So the first card that came out was the Devil, number 15. So this is the energy of 6. And it came out with the Ace of Inspiration upside down below it. So what this tells me is, what it's reminding us right now is some things that we may think are our passion or bring us pleasure, right? Know the difference between passion that comes from the soul and pleasure that's coming from the ego, right? So my previous partner, my roommate that moved out, right? It's always like, I'm following my passions. And it's like, that's great, but always having a good time all the time that's not following your passion or your pleasure, right? There's a difference, right? And that's what the Devil is telling us with the Ace of Inspiration upside down, is know the difference between what is a soul-called inspiration, right? What is coming, what is passion inspired from the soul versus what is ego-based or ego-driven, right? What is keeping us anchored in these 3D spaces? Now, does this mean you can never have a good time or go out or have a drink or have a party? No, that's not what it means. It means know that following your passions, your actual passions, is not the things, look at that, 333, manifest, you know? That's why things aren't manifesting in your reality for you. It's because you're following everything that feels good. Well, you can't just follow everything that feels good. There's a baseline between checking out, right? Using something as a crutch versus actually finding things that feel good. And if you always have to have an exterior something to make you feel good, then you haven't actually managed. You're not actually following your passions, right? You're seeking escapism through pleasure. And that just isn't cutting it, right? That's not sustainable for 4 or 5D above. That's not sustainable for the collective conscious, right? It's selfish. It's selfish behavior. So then we have the 10 of materials, the 9 of inspiration, and the 5 of emotions, which is upside down. So the 10 of materials, this is the 10 of coins. So if you want all the abundance and the goodness and the happiness and the tree to grow and the rose to bloom, right? If you want all of it, then you got to take the 9 of inspiration. Find the completion, right? Complete something that is your passion. Complete one thing. Stop trying to come up with all these other things. Most people, and I'm definitely guilty of one of them, I have a lot of Gemini in my chart, and I'm not blaming my zodiac. I'm just simply saying, being a Gemini rising with a Virgo moon,
means I want to try a lot of things a lot of times. And I get bored with things a lot of times, right? And the Scorpio is always the Scorpio sun is always like, yeah, we can do anything. And the Virgo moon is like, but everything has to be done correctly, perfectly, so we need to know more, and so it gets this, it's not ready yet. It's like this ongoing artist thing of the perfectionism, right? So the inspiration is really what's coming from within. Now the Five of Emotions, Five of Cups upside down. So it's about letting go things, also things that we wanted to complete in the past. We're like, well, I always wanted to do this. Okay, so there's two lines to go about this. One is things that you really felt called, your dreams and things like this, like you should follow or pursue them. Now, if it's something that you've been ongoingly pursuing and the universe keeps giving you information showing you that you shouldn't, you need to sit and kind of ask your guides a little bit about it, because there is going to be a lot of blockages right now, especially at this time with everybody awakening. There is a lot of blockages blocking people from actually fulfilling those soul-led missions, right? From focusing on all of the times that they failed or whatever else. Now, there's two ways that this is really coming through, and the other is if we stop to focus on the things that we have lost, right, that haven't worked out for us, right? It's like anybody, generally speaking, you have to get 10 or 50 no's before you get that yes, right? So don't let maybe a little bit of the failure or people doing whatever, don't let that berate you from actually achieving your dreams, right? Don't let all of the small 3D world things block you from actually speaking your truth or your authenticity and presenting something in such a way. Now we have the Two of Cups with the Ten of Voices upside down and the Three of Voices upside down. So these are the swords. So as we come into this better emotional balance, right? As we come into the state of balance of love, right? Two of Cups is this love we finally met. This cup of love, this lover, right? How do we get there? By not allowing the thoughts or the actions to overcome, to be like swords, right? To be like these voices that are continuing to echo. We're not letting this doubt, we're not letting this heartache, we're not letting this, right? We're not letting this sadness overcome us, because we're in control, right? We found the balance or the duality or the control in this emotional state, in the cups, right? And then we have the star. The wish, the dream, the goal. Keep focused on what that is. Keep focused on what it feels like to achieve it. Maybe we don't know all the ways and all the people and all the plays that it takes to get there, but we do know what it feels like. What does your ultimate outcome, the end story, the end game look like? And if whatever you're doing right now doesn't feel like it's in alignment with achieving that, then change it up. Whether that's people, place, things, businesses, actions, behaviors, whatever, you got to do that, right? And when does the wish come in? After the awakening, right? After this awakening is like 20, I believe, is like judgment. So it's like after we've, so I'd like to say more the awakening or judgment card should be more like discernment, right? It should be like, I'm finally seeing everything for what it is, everyone and everything for what it is, and I'm not going to allow the exterior noise or stress or whatever else, I'm not going to allow that to change my innate knowing of who or what is going on, right? This awakening, right? And as we have this awakening and we're feeling this intuition and everything centered and coming from this heart space, we're able to actually change and do something a little bit different. So, yeah. And then we're able to tap the emotions and we're able to see what is coming through and feel what is coming through and have this ability. The Eight of Materials, so the Eight of Coins, yeah. And we're able to now become what was once the apprentice. Now we're able to become the masters, because we can see the thought, we can do this, and we can hold on Four of Materials. We can hold on to those intuitions and those beliefs and the knowings that exist, right, within ourselves. And then we get the three of inspiration. Okay? Then everything that we've been waiting for has a ripple or domino effect that starts to actually come in for us and leaves this beautiful outcome. But only if we decide and have this discernment of what is and what isn't coming in. Okay? Yeah. And that's where the blind faith and the trust comes in. The fool, the leap of faith. Right? We have to believe that that is actually the possibility or the thing coming in, right? So keep your belief high. So it wants me to bring out some of our beautiful deities before I go. Archangel Michael, you are safe. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow miracles to occur. Trusting in heaven. Shout out to my dear friend Michael, who just passed. I have been feeling him come in a lot with Archangel Michael, which is really cool. Forgiveness, Master Jesus. Okay. Forgiveness. You are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father, healing is possible at this time. So this is where the Christ consciousness comes into play, right? It's about forgiveness. This is what he was teaching us. Forgiveness. He was teaching us this. And this higher level, right? You see all the blue that's within him? So it's like this other level of forgiveness, right? It's this consciousness that is coming into play, right? And this really was, he was non-judgmental, he was forgiving. Now, does it mean that you just keep letting people walk over you? No, that's not what it means. It's not what it means. It just means forgive. If that means yourself for trusting someone who was untrustworthy, okay. Forgive them for the path they're on and let them be on that path. Don't dwell in it. Isis, magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality, so stay focused. Yes, stay focused. You see this Ankh in the middle and everything here? This is about it coming, the energy coming up and being circuited back down, right? Staying, holding within our chakra point, our system. Yeah. We have Mercury, open communication. Tomorrow, Wednesday, is Mercury. Get a weight off your chest, speak up with love, and be heard. So allow yourself to be heard and to speak your truth, whether someone else or anyone else understands or feels it. Still, we have Gaia Earth connection. Be mindful of the planet. Come back to Earth and stay grounded. So go for a walk in nature. Thank nature, Mother Nature. That's who we worship, right? The feminine in all of her beauty, faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm. Trust the good in yourself and others. Choose to see the light in the world. So see the love and the light in the world, right? See the connection. See that we are all connected. And does it mean you have to sit and trust people for their potentiality? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying, right? Look at this, cloak of wisdom. You already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. Kuthumi. Right? Look at the snake going all the way around. And again with the Ankh and the Om. So it's like, trust. If there's a reason why you felt like you need to move on from something, then you do. Okay? Trust that. Trust that. And say, okay, I trust, I release, I have this faith and understanding. What I'm making space for will come to me. Seronius, life force, express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. Look at that at 4444. So also know that there is a certain amount of life force or connectivity to the physical realm, right? And this is what is creating the driving passion, right? The need, the necessity, the sensual and sexual powers, right? It's tapping into that. It's just tapping into that. Beautiful. I love this one. No more. Okay. So, anyways, you guys, as always, I appreciate your likes, comments, subscribes, shares. Still trying to figure out how to access my Divinity within the PayPal, but pretty sure you can still send something there if you'd like. Yeah, as always, infinite blessings, love, and light. If you want to schedule a personal or private reading, email me, drop me a message, and give me a shout out. Okay? We have a lot of heavy energy going on through the eclipse. I will take only like if people really, really need it, let's go. But yeah, it will take a lot of clarity and tuning in during this time because there is just this wild card energy that's swirling about us. So stay calm, stay clear, stay focused in your passions, right? And your passions are not your pleasures, are not your earthly pleasures, you know? If it's creating art, if it's dancing, great. You know, if it's just partying and feeling good, that's a crutch. So, as always, infinite blessings, love, and light. Ciao for meow. Zoe out.